but my shoulders are back, so I have to go get custom tailored shirts now. And I was like, bucket list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I noticed I was putting mine on and I got to put it on my shoulders and the arms go up to here. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I was trying that stupid shirt on, and my wife looked at me. She goes, "Oh no, you don't,
Yeah.
because you will rip that shirt." It's like I know, I love it. I love it. Welcome to the Work Hard People's Podcast. Hope everybody out there is having a great day. I'm James, the old guy. Today we have Mr. John Bamaboy Clarke on. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How about yourself, sir?
Cannot complain. It's a good day. It's actually sunny here. We've been getting a lot of rain lately. You're down south, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Where
sir.
you in
Just outside
Mobile
Mobile.
or just
Just out.
outside Mobile?
I'm in Sims, just outside of Mobile.
Okay, perfect. And I'm in Alabama too, Roll Tide. So I'm up like kind of northeast, just off of 85 in a little town called Tallahassee, which is I guess about I want to say maybe 30 minutes kind of northeast of Montgomery. So I'm out there kind of in the country a little bit. I like it. You're a little closer to the beach though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, I have a couple of bodybuilding clients that I'm training for a show right now, and they actually live in Pensacola. So I go down there. Well, right now they're right now this weekend they're 8 weeks out from their show. So I'll be going down probably every other weekend to train them in person, and we're just dialing things in. We're just coming out of uh we've been really spending some time packing on some muscle and gradually been bringing them down. And now that we're 8 weeks out, it's time to put the pedal to the metal and make them suffer a little bit, right?
Right.
So, so yeah, I'll be down. Matter of fact, I'll be down there next Saturday to train them and kind of get their new diet in place and get everything squared away. So, but this show's not about me. This show today is about you. And the reason I wanted to bring you on, John, there's I like seeing things just kind of take root and grow.
Mhm.
And you're a very passionate guy when it comes to fitness. You have and we're going to get into why you did this, but you created this Facebook page, Alpha and Omega. And dude, when I think you reached out to me to join, it was maybe 3 months ago, something like that. Well, it hasn't been very long, maybe four at the most. And there was, I don't know, a couple hundred people on there. And now all of a sudden, I mean, it just seems like it's growing exponentially. Every week you're, saying, "Hey, welcome these new people." You're up, what, over like around 1,500 followers now or something. Is that it? What is it?
Yeah, I think right now we're currently sitting at 1751 is the number right now.
Yeah, so 1751. I mean, this thing's just like taking fire. And what I love about the community you've created is, it's a fitness page, but you allow all kinds of coaches on there to talk about just different things, promote their businesses, help other people out. You do fun little things, Flex Friday and Girls Day and all this stuff, and it's really engaging and it's a fun place. Why did you start it? What kind of came in your mind? Say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start this Facebook page and see what happens with it.
Well, initially when I started as my own kind of fitness journal, if you will, a place where I can post my results and where I can keep my own information. And I was part of some of these other fitness groups, and they were really strict and just really catered to a certain type. And they would just, I don't know, man, it was plagued with spam steroids. And anytime anybody with would try to post their results, they were just getting negative feedback. And it was either people that were already into bodybuilding. Nobody really was just starting out, and there was just a lot of negative feedback to some of the members that I was seeing. Anytime they tried to post their results, and I was like, "This is not okay. It's not what it's about." So when I posted this group, initially started with 44 members about 7 years ago. Started out as 413 Fitness actually, and you know what? I said, I want to create a place people want to come, enjoy, and a place that could be welcome to all types of fitness, not just bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit, whatever. And some of these groups are super strict, man. The guys are just jerks. I'm just like, you know what? People come here and want to talk about their business. I mean, how do you know how to find a coach, for example? How do you know how to do this or that? You know what I mean? It's like this information not readily available. You know, it's just so many rules, so many regulations, and just I said, well, let's make it fun, make it a family environment too. You know, people are going through PTSD, depression, you name it. So brought up just it just kind of come together as a place I want to be a part of, and people like me want to be a part of, and it just before you know it, just blew up.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. And you're right. A lot of these Facebook groups, you get a lot of, especially if once they start reaching a certain size, you get people that are just, they're very negative. They can be very mean-spirited. And I think that's just kind of partly the nature of the world that we live in. But I, I expect, I can't, I don't even want to say expect, I demand better from the fitness community because we are all out there trying to get better. And
Right.
I actually early on we did a on the podcast we did a coach's corner about how to find a coach because I'm a certified coach. I have a coaching business. The podcast is something that we do more, like I said, for entertainment and just disseminating information. But I'm the first to admit, listen, I may not be the best coach for you, right? And I tell like when we did that coaches roundtable about how to find a coach, the first thing I said was, listen, if you come across a coach that says the only way to get it done, the only way to skin that cat is this way and there is no other way, turn around and run because that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We are
Okay.
all very different. We all have just the nature of our physiology and our own individual kinesiology, the way our own muscle attachments connect, will determine the way a motion needs to be created to put the maximum amount of force into that muscle. And you got a lot of these coaches out there that, yeah, they took a class. Anybody can become a certified coach. It is very easy to do. The difference between a good coach is someone who's going to invest the time to study and learn those things, learn what kinesiology is, learn how the body connects, the whole chain, and then help people adapt to their own stuff. And that's one of the things I love about your page more than anything is that there's great conversation. I've seen great back and forth. I haven't seen anybody say, no, that's stupid. That's the worst thing I've ever heard of or anything.
Right.
I've seen great engagement. And that's what I love about the page, dude.
And another thing I've noticed on the page, it wasn't never meant for this. It just kind of took on a life of its own. It became initially I changed it to Alpha and Omega because, of course, very faith background for myself. But I wanted something, a page that could start from somebody that doesn't know anything about fitness to somebody that knows is a longtime veteran. They could bring all this information together in one place, and it could be for any and everybody. They can all come together and share that information. Because that's one thing I wasn't seeing in the other groups. And then when this group when it came together, there was many members coming in battling with depression and, like I said, PTSD. There's Miss Wendy Louder and her husband. They're awesome members in our group,
Yeah.
and they actually tell their story. And I like to hear these stories how they had PTSD and they were dealing with their own adversities. And next thing you know, they just overcame and they share their journey. And these inspiring stories touch members and like myself in phenomenal ways. Like Mr. Zach King, he's been on your show before. I think he's actually how I found you.
Yeah,
His
Zach,
story,
he's a great dude. Good friend of mine. Good friend of mine, Zach. Love that guy.
yeah, his story. Here I saw a guy that was I was never that big, but I was pushing 300 pounds myself, and I saw a guy that was doing it and has done it. And I was like, wow, if he can do it, I can do it. And he was very humble, shared his story, and I was like, you know what? And I'd like for him to share his story. And then some of us are sharing a story how they overcame these different adversities, and the group became also a one of the cornerstone of this group became overcoming adversity, and that's just a big part of the group. A lot of times we'll spotlight members and we'll share those adversities that you overcome and how you started, and it was never meant to be that way, but it's just take on a life of its own as well, and that's a big a foundation of the group, if you will.
Yeah, no, and it's good. And Zach's story is a great one. I mean, he was a big dude. And he's on stage now. I mean, he's done two bodybuilding shows. He has goals. He's very driven, working on himself, not just physically, but mentally as well. And I
Right.
think that's what a lot of people they kind of lose when you start whatever it is, like you just feel like you're overweight or you just want to exercise a little bit more and you start that journey, I think what a lot of people don't realize is the impact that it begins to have on your mind and how
Right.
you are able to start strengthening the mind as well through, because I always say you start your fitness journey because you're a little motivated about something, right?
Right.
And there's a certain point in time where that motivation wanes. But I
Exactly.
promise you, if you have just a little bit of discipline and you can get through that cycle again and start to see the change, that motivation will kick back in again. And it's like a circle. It just keeps going. The motivation starts you down the next goal. Then you get to the hard part. You use your discipline to get you back around until you start to see, okay, I'm making progress again, and boom, you're back to motivation because you're seeing those results. Get you motivated and pumped, and it's just this ever or never ending cycle, right? And
Right.
but the mental aspect, the way it can affect not only your own personal mental aspect, but your relationships with your families, your friends, because you become a better overall human being.
Right. You do for sure. It boosts your confidence, your well being, you name it. I have no desire to just necessarily go down the bodybuilding road. I've been asked if I've considered it several because my physique, they've seen the improvements I've made. Right now, I'm on the waning side of things, like you mentioned. I'm working night shift right now, and I took on two crews. I'm overloaded mentally. So basically, and then summers being so sweltering hot, in my shop, it's not climate controlled. It's 100 degrees on a bad day or a good day. Um, so you get to start pumping iron. It's yeah, you got to do good not to fall out. So basically, I'm getting up at 4 p.m. trying to get in and work out, and that's the hottest part of the day. And just my sleep's been very sporadic lately because I took on, like I said, a second crew, so I'm just overloaded mentally and just
What do you do?
I'm a supervisor at a distribution warehouse right now.
Okay.
And so my crew was a small one, and I had, I'd kind of gotten into I'd kind of settled into my position on the night shift and got my routine back in, working out. And my wife and I were working out together. That's kind of our us time, if you will. We both had lost like 30 pounds, each. And I had dropped from like the high 286 down to like a 249. Was doing really well, and was really getting some strength up, was doing well. And it just, before you knew it, it's just like a guy got fired at my job. They gave me a second crew. Now I'm just so loaded down. I
Yeah.
can't even get my workouts in. And that frustrates me because that's what I live for that, other than
Yeah.
family time, I live for that. So,
No, I literally call it Prozac, man. The gym for me is Prozac. If I go 2, 3 days and I can't get in there, it's my whole demeanor changes.
right.
I just feel like I'm in a slump. My body starts to hurt. I feel a little slow. I don't like it one bit.
Right. And that's me. People look at me and still see they see me and they see this build and they say, man, you still got it, and I just don't feel the same. Even though I may look the same on the outside, I don't feel the same, if that makes sense.
Makes 100% sense, man. I know exactly where you're coming from. So let me ask you this, John. When did you get into fitness? Have you always been into fitness, or was it something that you just kind of started grasping all of a sudden and like, hey man, I really like this?
Well, I grew up, I was an overweight kid growing up. And of course, I got bragged off my weight most of the time. Every time my family would see me, they'd say, hey, man, you got big, didn't you? And I was like, gee, thanks. I mean,
Yeah.
and my grandpa would be like, well, I wasn't your size when I was your age. And it's just the constant negative uh, shots about my weight. I got tired of hearing it. And finally, my cousin asked me, said, hey, man, why don't you come play football with me? And I was like, man, I'm not going to play football. So sure enough, he talked me into it. I went and tried it, and I fell in love with it. And I found lifting weights, man. And I said, hey, I'm good at this. I'm naturally strong. I'm good at it. But I mean, it was very raw, very just basically squats, bench press, some deadlifting, but nothing really in depth. And it wasn't until after I got out of high school, I got away from it for a while. I dropped down to 180. I got back into it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was watching everybody at the gym trying to figure it out. And I didn't actually take a class, but did a lot of in-depth research about how the muscles work, what works for them. I did a lot of trial and error, and finally, I fell in love with it. Like I said, I love the powerlifting side of things. I love the bodybuilding side of things. You name it. I watched Brian Shaw. I watched Ronnie Coleman. I mean, you
Yeah,
name it. I said, I'm good at this. I said, I may not ever be a powerlifter, but I definitely am strong. I could do the bodybuilding side of it. I mean, excuse me, the powerlifting side of it, not bodybuilding. So, and I was good at it, and I worked hard. And I mean, just in my mind, achieving these awesome, strength increases. Like I was leg pressing like 965 pounds for 15 reps, and blew my
yeah,
mind. And then it's just there was an older guy in the gym. He pushed me to push myself just a little bit. And once I pushed myself that one extra rep, that little bit of the fear and intimidation was gone. And after that, I took off. I mean, I was just like,
yeah,
I'm pushing
yeah.
tons and tons of weight.
Check John out. He's a big dude. He's a big boy. You're definitely packing on some muscle there, which is very nice. And it is, man. It's. I just want to tell people it is such a great community. There are some bad people out there that are gonna talk crap about you, no matter what you look like, whether you look
Right.
fantastic or not. There are those people that will do that, but I'm telling you here, most of us in the gym. We're just in there for, it makes us feel good and we're happy to help. So don't be afraid to ask questions to people. Don't be intimidated. Especially, I always say, hey, you go into a gym, if you're intimidated, you go into the gym, you find the biggest, buffest dude in the gym or woman, because they're going to be the ones that are like, oh, yeah, I got you. What you need? You need help with something?
Yeah.
I'll get it for you. So,
And, and and that's what blew my mind in the gym. You go in there, and some of the, like I said, some of the biggest people you would think would be jerks or just not even want to give you the time of day. They're the ones that are willing to share the information with you. I mean, A to Z. What do you want to know?
mhm.
And it's just it blew my mind. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. I love that. I like to hear when people catch the bug,
yeah,
catch that bug and they can't get enough of it. I just like my household's totally different. So my wife, I could barely get my wife to take a walk with me. Right? Like she is not, if it comes to exercise, she is not doing it. Right. And now I mean, my wife's tiny. She's like 5'4", 100, I don't know, 35 pounds. She's not a big girl, but she just doesn't like to exercise. She's
right,
like, I'm not doing it. She goes, you go have your fun. I am not doing it. And I'm fine with that. I'd like to see her do some stuff just for her own health, even just walking, right? But she and we all my point really is that we all have to come to that own decision ourselves. If
right.
you're doing it for, yeah, I know you want to do it so you're healthy for your family, and those are great motivators. But if there's not something inside, you're gonna fall off the path. You've got to find that why inside.
And see, that's what happened to me. I think it was last year, sometime early last year. My household is not about fitness at all. I mean, my family, none of my extended family, my house was you break junk food everywhere you look, and I'm just like, and my weight was climbing. The highest I ever hit was 291, but last year I was around 286, and I was just I got a before and after picture of me. I had this huge belly. I always had a belly on me, but I was just like, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with myself, my appearance, nothing. And people say I have it's not called ugly duckling syndrome, but that's how I see myself. I mean, I might be muscular, but I see myself as this fat kid, even though I'm starting to get muscular now. I think it's body dysmorphia. I think it's called.
We all have a little bit of it, yes,
It
sir.
it doesn't matter how good I get. I still see myself as this chubby kid that I've always feel I've been. So finally, last year I told myself, I said I want to do something different. I started digging in, doing some research. And I didn't have the money for a coach or anything like this. So I said, well, I looked online, found an online calorie calculator, and I found what it takes to keep the maintain what I want or what I currently am, and then to maintain the calorie intake of the weight I want. So I went started intaking the calories of the goal weight I had, which was 240 at the time. And before I know I gain a little bit or lose a little bit, gain a little bit, lose a little bit, gain a little bit. Before I know it, I'm dropping. The weight's going down. And then my strength started decreasing. I was talking to Zach, and he said, "Hey man, whatever you do, don't lower your weight. Keep your weight where it's at. The strength will come back." I was like, "Okay." And sure enough, the weight started coming back. I mean, the strength started coming back, and the weight kept going down. I was pushing down to 260, 250, then higher 240s. I'm like, whoa, check this out,
Yeah,
man.
if you can find that, if it, what it is, just the way the body works, right? If you can find that homeostasis point, right? When it comes to your calories and you're eating good foods, at the right macro breakdown for yourself, and you find that homeostasis where you're not really eating a lot of surplus, right? But
Right.
you're getting enough of the protein and carbs that you need to really kill it in the gym. As you start developing more lean muscle mass, what is that going to do? It's going to speed up the metabolism,
Right.
right? And start pulling off the some of those extra pounds. And then of course the opposite starts happening, right? Because the muscle's growing and it weighs more than fat. So then you're going to start gaining weight, but you're going to look totally different. You're
And
not
see
going to
that
look the same.
that was a tough thing for me. And so when I finally got my wife in with me, that was a tough thing for her too. She said, "Well, I'm not really seeing the change on the scale." I said, "Well, don't focus so much on the scale. Focus on how your clothes fit." And that was the
Hmm.
hard part for me because my weight was start climbing back up, and now I'm pushing back up around 260. But my clothes fit way different. I mean, the clothes I couldn't even fit in 36 and 38s anymore, and I'm in those, and I'm wearing a belt, and they're still way too big on me. So
Yeah,
I'm back in it. I'm in a 2XL shirt, fitting it like it's kind of big on me, but
yeah,
my arms and chest are really broad and big. So
yeah.
definitely everybody's clothes fit.
No, it's crazy because I have been in pretty decent shape most of my life. I had a decent stretch there from about 41 to 48 where I kind of let things get a little crazy. And what originally happened was I was so just to give you a little insight of me, I love football too. I played football. I played my last tackle football game in pads at 41. Right.
Wow.
So like, I mean, I love the game. I coach the game. I absolutely, matter of fact, I think there's a picture of me and my son right back there where when I was coaching his team. So I'm very into it. I was playing soccer with some 16-year-old kids, indoor soccer,
Okay.
folded my knee in half. When I did that, it was like, okay, fine. So I started, it healed, and I just never let myself. I just kind of pushed everything away. I wasn't eating good. I wasn't going to the gym anymore, and I got up to 325 pounds.
Wow, that's
So yeah,
pretty
I
good.
was I was it was not good, and I'm fine. I don't know how tall you are, but I'm like five, just under 5'11", right? Right, 5'11",
Yeah.
5'10" half. So yeah, it was. I always was maintained some pretty decent strength, but
Right.
and that was it, man. It was when did my son graduate? 2020, I think 2020. Yeah. So my baby boy graduated high school in 2020, and I saw my picture standing next to him at his graduation. I was like, "What the hell have you done?" Right? That is not you, dude. So
Yeah.
I re-engaged myself and I got down to 235. And then I have been probably really hard for the last year and a half bulking. I'm sitting about 260 now as well. But
Right.
it's crazy, dude. I got pictures of my back from 2 years ago to now. I this was like almost a goal of mine, and now that it's finally happened, I actually it was kind of like a little ego boost, right? We were actually at the store. I need to get a couple more dress shirts, so I'm in. I have my own insurance business, right? So I do
Right.
insurance, and I need to get a couple dress shirts if I need to meet with clients, whatever. Nothing off the rack was fitting because my shoulders and back are too wide.
You're right.
Right. My waist is the same as it was when I had gotten down to 235, but my shoulders are back, so I have to go get custom tailored shirts now. And I was like, bucket list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed I was putting mine on, and I got to put it on my shoulders, and the arms go up to here. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying that stupid shirt on, and my wife looked at me. She goes, "Oh no, you don't." She
Yeah.
goes, "You will rip that shirt." It's like, I know, I love it. I love it. But yeah, man, it's crazy just how the body composition changes as you start doing those things. And I quit worrying about the weight long time ago, man. It's for me, it's how am I looking in the mirror, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have no desire to be on stage either. None. I want to feel good. I want to look good in a t-shirt, and I want my wife to think I'm sexy. Other than that, I don't care, right?
Right. Right.
So,
I know I'll put on a shirt that I bought, and she'll washed it and I'll bulked up or something, and it's like it shrank. I'm like, hey, it's sticking to me. What's going on here? She's, oh, I love it.
Yeah, you're getting big. That's what's going on. So you told me earlier when we were chatting that you're a Bama fan. What do you think about the team this year?
Man, I'm eager to what they're going to do. I mean, I haven't been able to watch much of it lately. I've been so busy and working nights, but I'm just eager to see if how the boys are going to take care of business this year.
I know last night we played Middle Tennessee, and I know it's the first game. They're not quite in our league there, but that first game of the season, I'm always looking. I'm looking to see, are they a disciplined team? Are they accurate? Are they running the plays like they're? I watch a game like a coach, right? I'm
Right.
like, are they hitting their gaps? Are they doing the things that they're supposed to be doing? So the last couple years, right? First game of the
Hmm.
season, I'm like, we got problems. We played Texas. That was the most undisciplined game last year I've ever seen out of a Saban coach football team. I looked at my son. I said, we ain't even making the playoffs. It's not
Man.
going to happen. I knew it instantly. Last night, I was very excited. They were disciplined. The quarterback is very accurate. He's got great movement. Threw some nice bombs, and our second string quarterback, him as well. So the starting quarterback, what's his name? Number 4. Was it Milden? Milden? Oh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he rushed for 2 touchdowns, threw for a couple. The second string quarterback, he comes in the second half, he rushes for 2 touchdowns, throws one. I mean, all in all, it was a very good game. It was fun to see. So I'm excited about what's coming
Yeah.
this year. I think we can put together a good team. So
And see, that's me when I watch a Bama game, and that's what gets me is not making those mental mistakes. I'm like, yeah, it's not like a Saban team.
no,
And you can always tell in the first half if they're messing up doing mental mistakes, and you say, "Oh, Saban's going to get in that behind when they go in the locker room." And sure enough, they come out as a whole different team in second half. That's
oh
why Saban's
yeah.
going to live into them.
Yeah, it's same man. He doesn't care if they lose and they do it right. He
Right,
cares when they lose because they are, undisciplined, doing bad penalties, personal fouls. They're just playing undisciplined football, and because he knows that they're better than that. And aren't we
right.
all?
Oh
Right?
yeah,
If we all keep our focus and discipline, whatever it is, we can do great things. It's when we allow naysayers and doubters to get in there and say, "What are you doing? That's stupid." And you listen to that stuff, and
yeah,
or you listen to your own hype, right? And get yourself
yeah.
instead of just being who you are.
And
So,
see, I'm the same way. I like to watch them. Granted, I want them to win, but if they don't win and they played their heart out and they've done all everything they could do, then so be it. But if they get make all those mental mistakes and they beat themselves, that's when it just pisses me off. I'm just
oh
like, come on,
yeah,
guys, really, really,
yeah,
what are you doing?
yeah. Yeah, I can't stand it, brother. I'm telling you right now, it absolutely drives me crazy when they do that. So,
Yeah, there's times I have to get them walk away. I was like, I mean, I'll get mad, at them, and I can't, of course, get any much about it through the TV screen. I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah,
And I have
no
to get walk
doubt.
away from the screen, just like, oh.
That's
So
crazy. That's crazy. So hey man, you got the wife, kids?
yeah, yeah, I got a wife and been married actually second time around. And let's
I
say I
did that
have.
too. I did it twice.
Oh Lord, yeah, yeah. First one was a good stretch. It was right out of high school for almost 10 years, and then we just grew apart. And then the second one, we got married 2015. So it's been a nice little stretch between us. And then we have a total of 6 kids between us, 5 girls and 1 boy, range between 6 and
Fantastic.
20 years old. So yeah,
Nice, nice. Yeah,
yeah,
I have 4 kids. They're 33 to 21, 3 girls and a
okay,
boy. And
all
then
right,
we have 4 grandkids, 2 girls and a boy.
right,
2 son-in-laws. So yeah, it's crazy, man, how the family just starts growing. So
yeah.
it's good. So what's the future hold for John? What's your plans in the future? Anything big you plan on doing with Alpha Omega? You can start busting out some t-shirts. What's up, man?
Well, I mean, I'll definitely like to see. The hardest part is getting people involved. I mean, people want to do a little bit, then it kind of phases out. It's if I can get some people want to do take see, it's hard for me to do anything on night shift. So if I get people involved that wants to take on a particular part of it and do things like merchandise, t-shirts or whatever, or help expand the group, that'd be great. I'm all for it. It's just basically for the longest time I've been doing it all myself, and it's a
Yeah,
lot.
it is a lot.
And And I just recently appointed some admins and moderators, and I mean, some of them do good, some of them just kind of do, just the bare minimum. And I don't know. It's sometimes I'd like to see it do a lot more, but like I said, it's just getting people involved. It's just normally the hardest part doing anything.
It'll be finding that one person, man, or one or two people that really can get the pieces together because I know running social media can be insane, right? So I have the coaching business that I do, an online coaching business, and I have a partner, right?
Right.
You've probably seen her on here, Emma Hubbard. She's my partner. We're in Work Hard Peoples. She's the one who does all the thumbnails and stuff, and she's usually on here today. She was with her son all day, and so she just it was impossible for her to get on. And
Right.
I'm just the old grandpa, so I ain't got no kids weighing me down anymore. They're all out the house, but so even with the two of us, and the crazy thing is, we're both insurance agents, which that's a full time job, and then
Right.
you're trying to run your Facebook page and your Instagram and for the business, forget about your own personal one, it's for the business, just trying to do that and
Yeah.
and grow an insurance business and grow a fitness business. I mean, it's a lot, and you got to start finding those key people to really help, and that just they fit that piece perfectly.
And I just found one that actually she started doing the weekend daily post for me, and she's doing really well with it. I've asked several other ones to kind of chime in and help out with different things, and I like getting fresh ideas because eventually, I mean, I have plenty of ideas, but eventually, like I said, it needs more people to be more involved, and it's just like I said, some of them want the role, but they just eventually just kind of fizzle out. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm guilty too, man. I get so busy and I want to see what's going on. So like I check the page every day, but I'm not always engaged in it. I check it and I see what everybody's doing, and then
hmm
I'm net out, right? So
yeah.
I probably need to engage a little more myself. So I'll tell you what, I promise you that I'll engage a little bit more myself just to see if one man can spark a dream, right?
And see, I try to make an appearance in there too every so often, and I try to step back so other people can step in, and
Hmm.
I try to basically go through liking everybody's stuff and engaging in it, and try to get more of the group involved. That's a lot of what the daily posts are about is getting that engagement going.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to lose interest. I want it to also be about fitness, but also be a family knit group, if you will.
Oh
So
yeah. No, I see great potential there, dude. And you have come just like I said, in that short span, all of a sudden, that last 4 months, it's really just growing.
yeah,
And I think as you keep marketing it, I mean, I can see all kinds of potential things happening here out of this. I can see all kinds of growth, merchandise and other things that you could. I'd buy an Alpha Omega t-shirt as long as it's a stretchy kind. I'd buy one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
paid, 25, $30 for a t-shirt. No problem. I love t-shirts, right? So,
yeah. They do.
I love them. And I don't just like, a lot of times you just see me in Axe and Sledge because I have a bunch of their t-shirts, but,
Right.
I have Axe and Sledge, Steel, Cutler, old school lab shirts. That's what I tell the kids for Christmas. Yeah, I would like a Dragon's Lair shirt and I would like a, so
Well, see, I had somebody offer to do a decal for me, but it's just at the time I didn't have the funds to really give to it, and like I said, I was just basically just a working dad trying to get something going for social media group. And but like I said, if I can get somebody that want to partner up with me to like that and take and let it just take off and reach new heights, I'm all for it. It's just right now I hadn't
yeah.
found the people to do it, I guess, yet.
Yeah, it'll happen, dude. You just keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, the information that gets put out on there, I've seen a lot of. I haven't seen everybody's post, but I have seen a lot of information from different coaches on the Alpha Omega site. They all seem to be very genuinely concerned about, hey, I can if you need some help, ask me. I'm happy to help. They put little tips out there. They discuss different things about food and about different exercises. Everybody seems to be very kind. It's a platform that is primed to grow. It just needs those few couple little pieces, and I think you can blow it out of the water. And then we'll say, hey, I knew John when.
And see, that's one thing you talk about being kind. That's one thing I'm a stickler for respect and just integrity, if you will. And that's one thing I made off of the get go. I won't tolerate. I had two members in there that didn't. I guess they had differences in the past, and that's one thing I shut down fast. I was like, nah. So we're not doing that. I'm not gonna be one of those groups where the drama just starts filling all the comments. And that, I mean, I'm just not.
No,
And
you can't,
and
man.
it's and it's just I don't want that in that group. That's like cancer. I don't want it. You know, and but I don't want to be. I want it to have a life of its own as well. I want people to be able to be themselves and let it grow and express themselves. That's like someone mentioned talk about steroids in the group. At first, I was like, no, no, no. But then I said, you know what? Why not talk about it? I just don't want the sharing. Hey, trying to share and buy and sell in the group because I feel like that's something to be done on your personal.
And
You
you'll
know,
get busted. You
right,
get
right,
busted doing that. You don't want to allow that. The conversation is awesome
right.
because people, they are going to dabble in it, and most people are going to do it incorrectly, and that's when you get hurt. I'm very versed on gear. I take testosterone, but mine's prescribed by TRT. I'm 52 years old. I didn't
Same
eat
here.
real healthy. I went in, my test level was like 180. I was feeling terrible. The wife was definitely not happy because, things were not working. And,
Yeah,
and the doc, he put me on, I've been on it for coming up on 2 years. It'll be 2 years this December. We've kind of played that balancing act. It started out really good, and then I started fading, and then we didn't up the dose. We shortened the amount of time between injections, and we kind of overshot it. So I went from like he had got me up. I was sitting around 400, and I was feeling pretty good. And then it started dipping back down. It was like 250, and I wasn't feeling so good. And he shortened the days. And my last blood test it was 800, and I'm like, hey, he goes, I bet you're feeling great. I said, I feel like
right.
Superman, dude. I'm telling you right now. He's like, yeah, maybe we better stretch it out one day. And I've been on that dose. I just do 100 mgs every 8 days, and I feel really good. Right? There's no fall off. Um, I feel great. Energy's good. I eat well, sleep well. No fatigue. And like I said, I go to the gym twice a day. Right? So no
Right.
fatigue. I feel good in the gym. So I'm thinking we might have finally found the sweet spot. So
And see, I'm on the same as well. And I had high anxiety, growing up. So, but therefore, I had to get on something for that. And I'm not sure if it's that killed mine or if it's just the fact that hereditary. See, my dad passed when I was 26, so I can't really ask too much about the hereditary
family
side of
history.
it.
Yeah.
Right, right. So I went to the doctor, and then they mine was like two. Eventually, it was like around the 290 mark, and I think or it was 293. I think the 290 is like the minimum. And they were like, "Oh, you're fine, you're fine." I said, "No, I'm the bare minimum here." And the lowest I mine ever got before they put me on the testosterone shots and took me off of them. I think it was 93 at one point. I was like, "Wow!" I said, "Hey, this is not okay."
Yeah.
So they took me on them for a while, and I got up to, like I said, the 400 mark. Then I got up to 800 and 900. I was feeling great. And then one doctor wouldn't take me off of them, and they were back and forth for years. And then I think now I'm sitting around. They give it to me. It was once a week, and I was that last day I was tapering off, starting to feel like just
Yeah.
terrible. So like you said, what they did, they took it and they shortened it by a day. And then now I take it like normally every Saturday, every Sunday, and I take 1 cc or 1 mg as you said, and I feel great, man. I just
Yeah.
just that's I went in like I said the one time and it was they had it too close together and I was hitting probably around they said I was at 900. They said I bet you feel good. I said, man, yeah, I feel phenomenal. I just
Yeah. Yeah. When I was at
yeah,
8, dude, I was like, yeah, I'll run through that wall, brother, if you want me to. I
yeah,
felt great.
yeah, yeah.
But
I,
what a lot of people don't realize, and this is where it becomes very important for you to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't just let him tell you, talk to him or her,
right,
because like for males, the normal range of testosterone is 300 nanograms per deciliter to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. That is a wide range of normal.
yes,
Some
indeed,
people may be at 300 or 290 and feel great and everything's great. And other people might be at 400 and feel horrible. So
Yeah.
you have to have that conversation because, I mean, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or you are fatigued all the time, lack of energy, and all your other blood work's coming back normal, other than your testosterone is on the low side of normal, you may need a
Mhm.
bump,
Right.
right? You may need a little bit, and it's an important conversation to have. But I think PEDs over the last, 20 years has become such a topic of, oh yeah, you're on drugs, you're on PEDs, you're on.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
man, I'm not out there taking trend, dude. It's testosterone. My body produces it naturally, and obviously it's not producing enough. And
Yeah.
I was feeling terrible, and now I feel good. So, but yeah, a lot of these guys, man, the thing that scares me the most is these kids that
Yeah.
are taking it way before they should ever start gear.
Hmm.
The best advice I ever heard about gear was from Hani Rambod, and he said the factors before anybody should ever start gear. Number one, don't ever touch it if you're not going to become, if you're not, your desire is not to be a pro bodybuilder on stage.
Right.
That's number one. Don't ever even think about it. There's no need for you to do it other than maybe hormone replacement done with your doctor, right? That's
Yeah.
number one. Number two, maximize your genetic potential before you ever think about going down that road. And maximizing your genetic potential does not mean, oh, I can't get any stronger in the gym. No, that means sleep is on point, food is on point, lifestyle is on point, training is on point. Every aspect of your life, you are maximizing your genetic potential. Then, if all those things are being done, and now you go, hey, I want to step on stage, that's when you maybe want to dabble in it, right?
Right.
So, like I said, I have no desire to get on stage, so I will never dabble in that. But those
No. No.
conversations, I think they're important to have with people because people get caught up in the, hey man, yeah, I'm gonna get on some trend and I'm gonna take some Anavar and Winstrol and I'm gonna do a little D-ball hit over here and they just go down this whole road, all this stuff, and it's like, dude, do you even know what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean,
And,
come on, find someone who knows what they're talking about. Do it right.
and see, that was the hardest part for me whenever when I was lifting before I actually got on hormone replacement therapy. I was trying to figure out. I was curious about it, because I was curious about getting bigger and stronger, and this, that, and the other. And finding the good information, the right information was so hard to find. I mean, and some people will treat it like, hey, it's all hush hush, no one talk about it. So yeah, I'm all for discussing it. I'm all for the educational side of it for sure. And and I think it needs to be shared. I mean, I got some members that want to share it. I think Nick Putman is one of the guys in the group that's actually wanted to share it, and he shared a long video. It's just like I said, some people are such in a hurry; they're impatient. They want to break through so fast.
Yeah.
But
And knowledge is power, right? I
right,
mean,
right,
knowing things, it allows us to make good choices for our bodies and ourselves. If we don't have the knowledge and we're too afraid to discuss the knowledge or ask the questions, we can't get any better. We're just going to be stuck. Or we're going to do something that's going to wind up getting us killed
that's right.
because we're going to try something stupid and end up, at 35 years old having a heart attack because we've been, doing things that we probably shouldn't have done
Yeah.
and doing it incorrectly. The ones that I think really struggle are the ones that get so it's almost like an addiction, and not so much a physical addiction, but the mental addiction of I need this to get
Mhm.
bigger and bigger, and they never
Yeah.
go off cycle, right? They never let it clean out of their system and and they're not doing blood work. So they turn around. I don't know. You know who Seth Feroci is, right?
Yeah, I do.
Access
Yeah, I
Edge,
like
right? So
it.
so Seth, when he ran lots of gear, dude. He'll tell you straight up on his podcast and all of his stuff. He's like, man, I was like, hey, let's see what 1,200 megs a test does every week. I mean, like he was an experimenter. He's talked about it in depth, but he's also talked about some of the things that happened to him, and he realized a few years back that, like, when you're taking a lot of gear, it starts to produce a lot more red blood cells and hematocrit in the blood, right? So the blood gets
Hmm.
thick and
Hmm.
blood pressure goes through the roof. So he
Yeah.
had to start giving blood, but he wasn't getting his hormones checked, right? He wasn't doing, and he talks about this now. He goes to Dr. Prisk up there, but he wasn't getting his hormones checked. And when he did get his hormones checked, Dr. Prisk is like, I don't know what kind of stuff you're taking. You say you're taking 800 mgs a week, but you're not. Your blood work ain't showing it. Right. So, it's like, if you're not getting your blood work, if you're not doing all the things that you need to do and asking the right questions, you're just going to set yourself up for pain and,
Yeah.
sickness. You don't want that. Nobody wants that.
And that's one thing I like about Seth. And, it's kind of funny. We talked about Zach as well. That's one thing we both like listen to Seth Ferosi. And I like how he's very transparent about all the ins and outs of what he's done and what it's done to him and where it took him and things like this. He's very just open and honest about it. And I like that. I really like listening to his podcasts and videos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing that's what drew me to Axe and Sledge to begin with. That's how I met Zach was we were both in the demo crew at Axe and Sledge. That's how I met him. But that's what drew me to him was because yeah, he's rough around the edges. He's gonna say some outlandish things. There's things gonna fall out of his mouth that you maybe don't want your children to hear. But he is genuine. He is there to help. He's kind of the salt of the earth. I see everything I've seen and things I've heard from other people that have met him. He's the take his shirt off his back kind of guy. He helps his community. He does all these things, right? And he's going to tell you how it is. He's going to be honest, and he doesn't care, right?
Right.
He's just
You
going to
don't give
throw
it
it in your
tough love, whether
face.
you
He's
like it
not
or
going
not.
to, yeah. They're no sugarcoating it. He's just going to blast off and tell you how it is. Um, but at the same time, he puts out really good information, and he tells people you need to experiment for yourselves, but you need to do it right. You need to talk to doctors. You need to get your blood work done. You need to eat right. All these different things. Which those are one of the things that I really appreciate about how he goes about doing things. Right? He's not trying to hide behind any
Right.
you know glass
And,
curtain.
and see, that's one thing I've actually heard from some folks whenever they want to dabble a little bit in it or get into that to the gear side of things is going to the doctors and actually a lot of them are scared to tell their doctors they're actually doing this. I'm not really.
Yeah.
I guess they're scared of the reaction they'll get. So
Yeah, and they need to. You need it. I mean, if there's anybody that you need to be 100% honest with about the things you're putting in your body, it's him, your doctor, him or her. You got to
yeah,
absolutely. They need to know because gear can cause other symptoms, and they may see a symptom, and it could be a symptom of the gear, but they think it's something else. And so,
right.
it's like anything. If you're a mechanic, right? You need to diagnose the problem and you need all the information to diagnose the problem.
Oh, don't talk about mechanics. I hate that. I was just under a car yesterday.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that, not in Alabama heat. I'll tell you that right now.
No, no,
So,
no,
hey
no.
man, what's the future hold for you, man? What are your plans in the future?
Man, I want to continue growing my career first of all, and I want to continue hit. I want to test my limits in the weight room for sure. I mean, my goal right now is I achieved one goal of squatting 500 pounds. I actually hit it for 10 reps. My goal now, as far as bench press, is hitting 405. I've come close. I hit 375. I haven't quite hit the 405 mark yet. I had to get back in there, but
Yeah. You
I
ever
want
thought
that to
about
become
doing a powerlifting tournament?
I've considered it.
Just for
I do a
fun,
couple.
man? I mean, you're putting up some numbers. You could post a number.
I've I've thought about it. We did some amateur stuff in high school, but I never did anything like that. I mean, I guess I wouldn't know where to begin. So I mean,
Do you know who Matt Deacons is?
I don't.
Matt Deacons is a friend of mine. He's been on this podcast. We did a coach's corner where I had a powerlifting coach, Matt
Mhm.
Deacons. He does a lot of stuff with powerlifting. I had a strongman competitor coach and myself, and we discussed the differences between bodybuilding, strongman competition, and powerlifting. And he just actually did a competition. I'll get you in touch with Matt. Matter of
Okay.
fact, I'll talk to him after the show and see if I can't if he'll let me shoot you his information. He
Okay.
does powerlifting competitions, and there's like anything, there's all different levels. There's just the beginning. You show up, post a number, right? You got to do like he's now doing like suited lifts. So he uses a
Yeah.
bench shirt and different things. It's just the categories that he's training in, right? But
Right.
he could definitely give you some information about just how to find out about it, right?
Okay.
So he's a good dude. Maybe we get him to join your page too. So
Hey, that'd be awesome.
yeah, he's a good guy. I love Matt to death. I really do. He's a salt of the earth guy. He's very willing to help people, and I think you'd appreciate him. So for sure.
And that's kind of where I want the group to go. I want to continue to grow. I want the information to continue flowing from all avenues, whether like the competitions, whether it be how to find coaches, just all the the gear topics, the eating topics. Just basically, I want to be able to flow because most there's many coaches that won't share information unless you're actually, I guess,
A
under
client.
their right client, right? I'm not saying you have to give them everything for free, but just kind of give them a little bit of insight to where it makes them okay. I definitely want to pursue you, having you or
Yeah.
someone as my coach.
See, I
So,
do so I do a lot of coaching corners on here. We do one every few weeks. Like next week, actually my sister's a elite yoga coach, right?
mhm,
And next week she's coming on. We're going to discuss the mental and physical benefits of yoga and how it
right,
can, benefit the body. And I do those coaching roundtables. I have other coaches on and promote them on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is this podcast is non-biased. The only caveat is that you are disseminating truthful information. Doesn't have to be the same way I do things, just needs to be truthful, right? I want you
right.
to be, honest. But I love that because there's different ideas and I'm a different type of coach, right? I really don't have a lot of secrets. My goal, like if you come to me as just a hey, average Joe out there, I'd like to lose some weight, gain some muscle, figure out my eating. If you come to me about that, my idea of coaching is that coaches are teachers. So I want to train you in a way that you will no longer need me. Now, does that hurt my bottom line financially? Yes. But I'm a teacher. I'll find another client, right?
Right.
My goal, I don't want to do everything for you. I want to teach you how to program. I want to teach you how to put together meal plans. I want to teach you about nutrition. And that's what I do with my clients. And there's going to come a point where they say, I've got this. I can do it for me. That makes me a successful coach. I've done my job.
And see, that sounds exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something that, like I said, I'm not looking for a coach to where I can get in on stage, as you said. I'm looking for a coach basically where I can prepare it for myself, so I can maintain this long term and everyday thing. You know what I mean? I've kind of got the
Yeah.
rough gist of it, but the things I have eventually, the ideas run out or it gets very bland. I'm like, okay. So, but yeah,
Can
that's
help you out with some
definitely,
recipes, brother. Give me a call sometime. I'll give you some info. But we it's just people. I want people to learn for themselves. That's the ultimate goal. I think that's what's great about your page too, John, is that it gives people that opportunity. It's like another research tool where they can pick some people's brains, get some information, and experiment. As a coach, if I'm gonna implement an exercise into someone's routine that's a little bit different, I'm gonna
mhm,
experiment on me first. I'm gonna
exactly.
go do it for a few weeks. And I'm gonna go, okay, I really like the way this angle hits. Hey, buddy, why don't you try this? Let me know how it feels. Are you feeling the engagement? We go through it. And then if they are, okay, great. Now look, this is really working well. And that's how I do it with food. I experiment on myself. Right? Like I've experimented with high carbohydrate diets, carb cycling, right? Where, a
Yeah,
lot of people are very afraid of carbs, but I've done things where, like leg and back day, I was eating 700 grams of carbs that day, right? Crazy thing was, I was still losing weight. So, right. But I had low days as well. So, it was just, I heard it from Jay Cutler. He talked about how his 2009 run, he was doing carb cycling. He kind of laid it out. This is how I did it. I said, let's try this out.
yeah.
So I started messing with it and it was great. I do it to this day. I carb cycle to this day.
And see, it's
So,
funny you mentioned the carbs. That's one thing I noticed on my heavy days when I didn't have a lot of energy, and I was struggling in my workouts because I didn't want to eat a lot before I go work out, whether it be because I didn't want to eat too much, feel sick, or I didn't want to, I didn't want to be just lethargic. So I went out there and I found Axe and Sledge. I think it was demo day, and
love it.
actually tried some of it, and the energy output was great. But I was
That's the
actually I burned it
best.
all up.
That's the
Go ahead.
best carbohydrate powder on the market.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a promiscuous when it comes to supplements.
Yeah.
like I like I like Evogen and Old School Labs protein powder. I love Cutler's pre-workout. Especially when you combine it because he has actual nootropics in it. And Axe and Sledge, their demo day, it is the best carbohydrate powder on the market. And try one scoop as a pre and a scoop as an intra.
Really? Okay. Gotcha.
Pumps, dude. It's like it Seth designed that product to almost be so. Have you ever heard of bodybuilders that use insulin?
Mm, can't say I have.
Okay, so a lot of bodybuilders, Cutler did it, Seth did it. When they go to work out, they take a shot of insulin,
Okay.
right? You have to be super careful because it starts gobbling up the sugar so fast, right? That you could go hypoglycemic and pass out,
Yeah.
especially as lean as they are. But the whole design behind it is, what does insulin do? Drives nutrients into the muscles,
Hmm.
right? So you have your pre-workout meal, then take some insulin, put your butt in the gym. You're going to have a skin splitting pump like you cannot imagine.
Wow.
That was the whole design behind Demo Day. So Demo Day is a rapid glycogen loader. So when you drink that stuff, it is shoving glycogen into the muscle as fast as it can. Obviously, it's not the same as insulin, but it's the closest thing you can get, and actually probably be quite safe and healthy compared to shooting insulin. That's dangerous business, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's was the whole design behind Demo Day. And I'm telling you what, you take like a scoop of hydraulic and a scoop of Demo Day as a pre, and then a scoop of Demo Day as an intra, depending on your day, right? Or where you're at. I mean, if you're cutting, I wouldn't recommend two scoops of Demo Day,
Yeah.
but because you might want to use those carbs in a more efficient manner later. But if you're going in there to get a pump, whoo,
Hey,
man,
man.
can't scratch your face, you know?
Like I said, I love it, man. I've had it where I couldn't touch my shoulders more, be pumped up so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, it's my favorite. I've tried a lot of carbohydrate powders, and that one is the best.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man, I know it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm sure you're gonna spend some time with your family. You're not working tonight, right?
Right. I actually have some days I had to burn where I worked on some Fridays I wasn't supposed to work. I actually got some comp days to burn, and today's one of them. So I'm going to enjoy it, enjoy tomorrow with the family,
That's
and
good. That's good.
try to maybe hit some iron when later on when it cools down some more. Because like I said, there's a steam box in there right now. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go hit them triceps as soon as we get off here. So, but
I
hey,
got,
man, I really appreciate you coming on. Everybody that watches the channel, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I love the engagement. Get out there, follow Alpha and Omega. Check out that Facebook page. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get some great information. We will put a link for that page in the description. And I'll do a little text thing when I edit that'll blast it up there, the Alpha Omega Facebook page, so you can go on Facebook and find it. But I'm telling you, you'll love the engagement there. Remember, you know how we end the show. You remember, you get out there and you work hard, peoples. Don't forget to smile. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.